All right, guys, welcome back to another segment of Gun Bullies. As you know, we're running our Rock Island Armory 10mm and 45 caliber. We've not been too abusive to these guys yet. We want to break them in slowly. We want to make them feel like they're part of the family before we treat them like a stepchild. We've tried to give them, I don't want to say normal everyday abuse because I don't think it's normal to abuse guns. But let's say the most run-of-the-mill things that you probably hear about. We left them in our Drago Backpack. And this was pretty interesting how we did this. You know, these Drago Backpacks, they really are the best. All right, everybody else copies their stuff. We had a good rain. I figured, all right, let's get enough exercise where we can let them get wet. So we did. I put them in this bag, threw them outside. Well, guess what? They sit out there for a whole day, and the bag is basically protecting them. The bag is not letting the contents get wet. So I have to open the bag up, you know, spread the pockets open to where the rain can actually get in there. Cool thing was what I did after that, because I wanted to, the whole purpose was I wanted to trap moisture in there. We live in South Louisiana, and that's brutal. You know, our humidity it's tough. It's tough on guns. So after the rain passed, I zipped it up with the rain inside there, the moisture inside there, left it out in the sun so that it would get like robustly humid inside, and it did. Very humid, to the point where the 10mm actually has a little bit of rust on the barrel where the injection port is, and also on the muzzle on the barrel. So not anything bad, nothing that should inhibit its operation. I have not fired it since then. Then my next step was, all right, you know, I left it out in the rain, one type of element that could be considered like normal abuse. The next thing was a truck gun, okay? People ask me all the time, what do I get for a truck gun? We're not going to go into that argument because I have a different feeling about truck guns. Back in the day when our dads used to be able to have a gun rack and put shotguns and rifles on the gun rack and nobody messed with their stuff, we don't live in that world anymore. So I have a different opinion on truck guns. However, I did break my rule. And I put these guns on the floorboard, on my side of the floorboard. They got dirty, you know, they got dirty. That's all it is. I do see where I might have ground some dirt in on the 10mm on the thumb safety a little bit. Slides look okay, you know, if nothing else, it's dirt. I'm going to assume that dirt did get down inside the slide frame fit area a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to run those real quick and just see how they run. I don't anticipate any failure. The magazines are in there. Again, I have 2 spares, but actually, looking at the spares, I just took these out. I had them in a pocket. I tell you what, that poor 10mm, if you can see, the magazine is rusting pretty bad on the magazine. This thing was in a pocket in the Drago bag, and apparently this thing got pretty wet. This must have been somewhat protected, the 45 magazine. These are steel magazines, of course. You look, I see we've got some rust right here on the side of the magazine, and that probably, honestly, yeah, that almost rubs right off. You see, that's surface rust. That pretty much rubbed right off. I guess I'm kind of foiling my plan here by doing that, but the 10-round magazine, yeah, a lot of it rubs off also. Surface rust. Again, guys, remember, these guns and magazines have never been cleaned or lubricated. So just simple lubrication alone would not let these magazines, if it had even an original coat of oil on there, these magazines would not rust like that. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to use these things. This is a Gun Bully segment. I'm going to load up these bad magazines, the rusted magazines. We have the others as backups. And I'm just going to shoot at one of my targets out here. I've never shot these things at great distances, and I have a target out there at about 35, 40 yards. As always, guys, I'm going to gas up with my arm score ammunition. Not only are they made to run in these Rock Islands, but I just find that it's so consistent. You know my deal on that. So we got our 10mm first. Got my 10mm magazine. Again, I may have misspoke just for a brief moment. These magazines that I took out of the pocket that were rusting, I hadn't looked at the ones in the guns yet, and as you see, this 10mm is still rusting just a little bit right there. I'm not going to rub that off. Again, let's keep this thing as true as we possibly can in terms of authenticity with abuse. The 45, I actually don't see any signs of rust on it. No, there's none. I don't see any signs of rust at all. So it looks like the magazines that were in the pouch, again, that were really trapping some of that moisture, although the guns were in there too, seemed like they fared a little worse. Okay, we try not to have any trickery out here. Usually whenever we do this, we don't like the George Lucas special effects, as we like to call it. Let me make sure I have my 45 and my 45 big fat bullets right there. What I'm going to try to do here is I am going to try to keep the pistol in the frame the whole time, and I want you to see my target out there, because again, I don't want any accusations of anything. So let me charge the weapon, put it on safe, and I'm going to leave the gun out there. And if you'll look at my target right over the shoulder of that red bandito out there, if you'll notice, you see the kind of orangish red bandito hanging right in the middle. Look over his shoulder, and that is my target. So let me again keep you guys in the same picture and see if I can hit this sucker from way over here. Well, beginner's luck maybe. Well, maybe so. Okay guys, time for some 10mm fun. I guess I better seat that bullet in my magazine, right? We don't need there to be any operator error or human interaction error. Charge my weapon, put it on safe, and let me get you guys on target. Oops, keep my gun in the picture. All right, that 10mm ought to be able to easily grab that target out there. Let's see here. Well, it probably can, but I can't. There we go. Big hunk of lead hitting it. Nice. Oops, my fault. That's an awesome trigger. That trigger surprised me. The gun was ready. I wasn't. That's a miss on me. God, that's so awesome. This 10mm is unbelievable. What a fun gun to shoot. Keep this thing rolling. That's a fun gun to shoot, man. Such power in this 10mm. I really like it. Both guns seem to do well. All right. Nothing seemed to be an issue. Now that I have them, let's look at the feed ramps real quick. I was just curious, and again, curious more than anything, about if the steel by the ejection port on the barrel and the muzzle were rusting. I was just curious if my feed ramp was going to have any issues, and it's not. Feed ramp looks good on the 10mm. The 10mm seems to be the one that's taken on the most rust, even though they're finished the same. And this 45 feed ramp's fine on it too. I do see some things that I have, like some grass kind of caught in there. You can see some of the dirt between this. That's the 45, between the slide and the frame. Not so much on the 10. But yeah, overall these guys are running all right. And I see a big beautiful water puddle out there. I'm going to load these things up, and I'm going to introduce Mr. Water Puddle to Mr. Rock Island Armory 10mm and 45 and see how they like that. All right guys, remember, I do not have rounds chambered in here, but I do have loaded magazines in each one of these. It's very important to me that you guys see that we are not playing games. So what I'm gonna do is just like what I did shooting that target. I'm gonna toss each one of these guys in, 10mm first. Got on the camera, see, that's good. Makes you guys feel like you're here with me, right? And I have the 45, do the same thing. Oh, hope it doesn't land on top of it. It may or may not have. Now, I'm gonna walk around and spin that camera around so you guys can see. All right, I gotta find these things. I see one right there. And quite frankly, I don't see the other one, but I see mud right there swirling, so I'm assuming that's where it is. Again, there's one right there. That is Mr. 10mm. Drop him over there. I don't want to get him dirty. And again, I think Mr. 45 is right here. Yep, that's him right there. All right. Here we go. Now, let's bring this thing over here. I'm closer up to my target now, so I don't want to get at too crazy of an angle where it's sending my round off to the side. All right, you know the drill. Bear with me while I get this camera situated. Probably not gonna be able to catch the target in this one. All right, here is the, and I know they went off camera. You guys are gonna have to just believe me on this one. Here's the 45, okay? Let me chamber around. Sounded a little wet. Here we go, guys. Don't try this at home. I can never be, oh, well, that actually chambered right. I must not have, yeah, I must not have pulled the trigger, or I don't know what the deal was. It's a possibility, since I have mud on my glasses, I'm pretty sure I pulled the trigger. Look, as hair trigger as these triggers are, as nice as they are, if I touched it, it would have fired. It did not fire on the last shot, the 8th shot. This is the 45. Very good chance I had a piece of mud or something. My magazines are, you know, they're soaked. I do not see anything in there, but oh yeah, there's a piece of grass in there. All right, that's possible what it is. And I see grass all on the outside. Again, I had a slight misfire on the 8th shot. I say slight, I felt like I pulled the trigger. Whenever I looked to see if I had a round in there, there was one, and then it fired. So not sure what the issue was there. All right, Mr. 10 millimeter. We've got some pretty nice little goop all around there. I'm not taking any of that out. I'm gonna leave all of that on there. This is the guy who's fared pretty bad so far. Not the gun's fault, but it seems like he's gotten the worst of everything. So, and you see we have a pretty good amount of dirt and mud between the thumb safety and the slide right there. We also have some right in the well right there where the thumb safety goes. So let's see if we can, I'm gonna try to charge this thing without taking the mud off. It's important to me that I keep it muddy. All right, see the mud's still on the thumb safety right there. All right, guys. Again, don't try this at home. When I get excited, I miss. Worked fine, man. Worked fine. Let's go get some better close-up shots. I'm sure you got water on the camera. Maybe a little hard for you guys to see me here. Let's go get some close-ups of these things and see how they look now. Because if they took care of that, yeah, it's slowing the mag down a little bit because I got some mud and junk inside there, which is what's all over my hand. But anyway, let's run over here and take a look at these things and see what the insides look like. All right, man. Overall, these things are fine. Let me get the mud off my glasses here so I can use both eyes. Not that either one of them is very good. Yeah, they fared good, man. I mean, just looking at them, they're no more worse for the wear. Magazines are soaked. I suspect that because I've gotten so much more water on the inside of these guys, they're probably, and dirt for that matter, some minerals and all that good stuff. They may get a little nastier now. Feed ramp looks great. This is the 45, so this one's in not bad shape. I'm gonna close these up and try to trap all this water in them again. Here it's kind of gritty now. Yeah, it's getting gritty. Hear that? Yeah. That's that muddy water, Louisiana muddy water out here. Some people call it gumbo mud. Some people who aren't from Louisiana call it gumbo mud. This 10 millimeter looks okay. Feed ramp, not really a bunch of garbage inside other than being totally wet. It looks like firing it took all the mud off of it, so it looks to be fine. Again, let's do the same thing. Yeah, there too. Little gritty. Again, we're gonna let this guy stay like he is. let it get a little rusty for next time. Put it back into the Drago bag, each one of them. They have their own pocket, by the way. At one point when I started this, I didn't want to tear the finish up, so I put them each in their own pocket. We're about to start testing that Rock Island Armory Parkerized finish, guys, because I'm going to put these two fellas together after the next exercise. Let's let them rust on their own, lonely, each one of them by itself. Put them back in here, zip this guy up, make it somewhat airtight. Tomorrow sun should be out. We'll heat these suckers up again, let them rust a little bit more, never clean them, never lubricate them, and then see where they go from there, you know. Again, we'll start testing that Parkerized finish. It looks like it's faring really well. Being in my truck driving around on the floorboard, didn't seem to wear any of that Parkerized finish off. You know, Parkerized finish, sometimes it gets a bad rap. Sometimes people are thinking that it's just a way to finish a gun and not blue it, so to speak, because it's a cheaper way to finish the gun. Parkerized finishes are extremely tough and extremely durable, and Rock Island Armory is known for, especially in the later years, of having an extremely durable Parkerized finish. So that Parkerized finish is holding up really well. Again, those things rode around in my truck for over a week in my Jeep, and you know, between my work boots on them, getting in and out, I work in construction, so my feet were all over them all day long. As you saw, the floor mats are dirty. The finish is holding up fine. Again, worst thing I can say about these guys so far is the 10mm is getting a little bit of rust on the muzzle. That's pretty much it. These guys are holding up good. Not sure what I'm going to do next. If you guys have any suggestions, tell me what you think we should do, because believe me, we have a whole lot of really nasty stuff to do to these guns. Right now, we're just trying to take it easy on them and have a little bit of fun with them. We're going to get really nasty down the road. So if you have any questions or suggestions, I should say, about what you think I should do about with them before I really start beating the brakes off of them, shoot me an email, paul@legallyarmedamerica.com, paul@legallyarmedamerica.com, or comment in the section here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Pruveit.video is a great new video site out there. Gun District. Hit us up on that. We're everywhere. We're in all the social medias. But again, you can email me if you like. And we'll see what happens in the next chapter of Gun Bullies with these two Rock Island Armory 1911s.